All right, yeah. So that was fun. That was a little good. That was a little amuse-bouche of Timespinner. This one is going to be a little wackier. So what we're doing here, this run of Timespinner. Now that you're all familiar with the game, what we're doing here is we have 4 runners who decided that they wanted to play on Nightmare mode, which means every single enemy is going to do 64 additional damage on top of what it usually does. Also, there are a couple of extra enemies littered around one of the rooms, and then there are also different boss AIs, and some of them have some additional weaponry to use against you. So everything's going to be just a little bit harder. Additionally, they will be playing with boss rando on, as well as damage rando on. So every weapon that they pick up is going to be either nerfed, buffed, or stays the same as vanilla. And as they get ready to go here, they're starting time on first movement. Hi, everybody. I am Wef Jebster, and welcome to Timespinner Randomizer. I am joined in here by Lord Fizzlebeef.
Hello.
Hello. Good race.
Yeah, now that we're done
that
watching,
twin pyramid key check that you got was absolutely flawless.
and then it was all downhill after that. No,
Yeah.
we're gonna see some very skilled gameplay out of these 4 runners, I think.
Yeah, I think we are too. Another thing that we can say is they are actually allowing full glitches. So prepare to, if they get the succubus hairpin, their double jump, doors kind of just become more of a suggestion than any kind of barrier. So look out for that. There are also a couple of skips that you can do with glitches. And you can also have some advanced movement tech maybe get you into some areas that you're not supposed to be in a little sooner than you're supposed to be there. So there's going to be a lot going on. They have all of the settings that you would want to kind of make for a more chaotic run on. They got downloadable items. They have progressive key cards. It is an inverted run, so they'll be starting in the past instead of the present. They have Stinky Maw on, so they are going to have the Maw out of logic unless they have the gas mask. They have Gyre Archives, which adds a couple of difficult boss spots to the pool. As it is boss randomizer, they are not necessarily going to find those difficult bosses at those locations. They also have Cantorin on, which is a potential difficult early boss. And they have lore checks on, which turns all of those scrolls and all of those little memories that you have floating around into possible item checks. So there's going to be a lot going on. And on top of that, the shops are randomized. And the only thing that's guaranteed is that they are going to sell warp shards. So there's going to be a lot going on. I can't wait to see what happens.
And we're going to lift the gate on our runners. They're going to get started shortly. What's your favorite orb to get immediately out of the first check?
My favorite orb for me to get or to watch other people get?
Both.
There are 2 different answers. Obviously, Empire Orb is great to have basically all the time. But that feels like cheating. I really like Nether Orb to start.
Okay.
But it looks like our runners are starting with Wind Orb, which is an orb that just goes as fast as you can mash the button. And as well as Aura Serpent minus. You see that minus next to Aura Serpent. That means it is nerfed, and its damage is significantly lowered.
Now, when you say significantly, can you put a percentage on it?
The base damage for the melee orb for Aura Serpent is 8. That's the Empire Orb. And since all of the damage is a multiplier on top of that, and the base damage for Empire Orb minus is 2, that is a 75% reduction in damage. If you're not careful, Aura Serpent is the only spell in the game, and you see Empire Orb minus, and Radiant Orb plus. Okay, so this got a lot crazier. They're probably not going to be casting Aura Serpent all that much. Radiant Orb plus is immensely powerful. We're probably not going to see everyone switch to that because movement tech requires you to use Wind Orb here to do what's called risky dashing. You can see Admiral Tryhard doing a lot of like direction switching and using the backdash to get some extra distance on those jumps and stay faster in midair. So he is going to keep going left and maybe do our first logic skip, but the Radiant Orb is going to be doing massive damage for the early going here. And we already have our first death from hate, bonking with the bird just twice. You start with 128 health, so basically right now, if anything hits you twice, you die, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I had to practice a little bit when I started learning Timespinner, especially the inverted start, is what to do about those stupid birds. And for the longest time, I was just like, no, I have to destroy them so they do not destroy me. But Celestial Sash, that'll be a real.
We have an early Celestial Sash. Admiral Tryhard unfortunately has to go back and recollect everything that he left behind because he did a save and quit there to get back to. Oh man, hate getting RKO'd by the bats out of nowhere. This Celestial Sash is going to make a very interesting seed here because I don't see any reason for them to vary much in their progression logic. If you go to that little check down there by the bats, you're going to get a Timespinner Spindle, which is going to be your first piece of the 5 required Timespinner pieces. You all just saw a Timespinner run, so you all know what that's all about. 5 pieces of the Timespinner for your go mode. We did get Crimson Vortex Plus, I think that was. So that's 2 plus orbs already. The version of damage randomizer they are using right now gives equal weight. Each orb or spell has an equal chance to be plus, minus, or default.
And when you say there's an equal chance, that doesn't mean there's any restriction on, like, you know, if you get lottery levels of luck, you could get all pluses or all minuses.
Yes, you potentially, yeah, every orb just has a 1 in 3 chance.
Mm-hmm. So I see Chanigan going straight for the castle, whereas I saw everybody else mucking around with that area on that split path where you got the security keycard D. Thoughts on bypassing that area early?
So I'm kind of 2 minds. I really like it when you have Celestial Sash and you basically have all of the vertical progression you need to clear the towers. You can get all of those chests after you beat the Maw. It's kind of just like right on route with it, and it's just kind of, it's right on the way. There's really no great time to do those. So I would rather route it in after beating the Maw. Now, obviously, the D key card is a pretty big get. So we'll see how that plays out. If they have early access to the present and say the towers have something really spicy, that could work out against Chanigan. But, you know, we'll see what's going on here. It looks like Admiral is going to be going all the way through the upper caves and taking the medic warp. Oh, Chanigan taking a death. We might see that a lot in this seed.
So I know in normal difficulty, armor helps a lot with preventing a lot of these dang the torpedoes full speed ahead plays. How much is armor going to help them on nightmare difficulty?
Well, when your HP is still very, very low, I mean, everything, like I said, is going to do at least 64 damage to you. So armor, I mean, the differences between individual pieces of armor don't matter all that much. You might be able to take a 3rd hit instead of just 2 hits, but what you're really looking for is damage output, because once you have that damage output, especially with an orb like Radiant that is kind of omnidirectional, you can clear a room, and if the enemies are dead, they can't hit you. So that's kind of what you're looking for in a nightmare mode run. Yeah, so Chanigan takes the death there early, but he's still slightly ahead. The only thing the other runners have that he doesn't is the D key card. I'm wondering, as we watch some of these runners, oh, Hate's almost taking another death. You kind of wonder, high-level Timespinner Randomizer runners skip a lot of save points. When you're on Nightmare mode, at least me, I find myself skipping a lot fewer save points. just because, you know, any weird luck, any weird off-screen enemy zooming onto screen and hitting you could kill you. So I safety save a lot more in Nightmare until I'm absolutely positive that I can tank a few hits if I hit like that 300 HP mark. But until then, I like to grab some saves, especially outside of the twins. Usually, personally, I don't save before or after that fight with the twins and the golden idol. So if I'm on Nightmare mode, I'll grab that save where I normally otherwise wouldn't. Now, at 100 damage that Kippy has, or 100 HP that Kippy has, a single swing from that giantess will kill him. So that is something you have to look out for. You think in terms of 64s, but then there are some weapons that just do more damage to you right off the bat, and you could take a amount of damage that you weren't intending to take. So that is something you just have to watch out for. It's a lot of damage avoidance. Nightmare mode removes the face tanking strategy a lot and really makes you work for your progression.
Mind if I jump in real quick? We have a donation, $25 from Waffle Soup. Shout outs to the Timespinner community and the amazing devs of this rando as well. Thank you very much, Waffle Soup, for your donation.
Thanks, Waffle Soup. That puts us over 3,800, so that's pretty cool. 200 to go to hit 4K. That is incredible. And that's a death from Admiral Tryhard. He's gonna lose a little bit of progress there. There's a stretch here as they go into the castle keep where there isn't a whole lot of saving to do. So if you die, you could lose a significant amount of progress, especially because, I forgot to mention this at the top, Nightmare mode disables some save points, as if it wasn't making things difficult enough on you. Chanigan just got a water mask. Yep. That's huge, because that adds in that route to go through the upper sealed caves, or upper caves of banishment, that adds in the water checks there. So those, if you went there early and couldn't get the water checks, you're going to have to do a bit of backtracking. So that's going to be a little bit of movement efficiency from Chanigan, again, assuming that he's not going to need the D card for anything. At this point, it's basically going to be the gas mask. And these runners will probably be able to fight them all, even without the gas mask with Stinky Maw on. That shouldn't be a problem. So I would say Chanigan is going to end up getting that D key card as a matter of course.
Does Nightmare difficulty affect the calculation of LOL Mom just going to eat biscuits?
No, because the oxygen and poison and all of the status effects, including the spikes and all of the environmental damage that you can take, that does not go up by 64. So that is there's a minor strat depending on what boss you're fighting. Speaking of fighting bosses, our first boss is Emperor Nuvius at the twins. Kind of annoying without the wheel. He's going to only have the twins' HP and attack stats, but still, the movement tech that you need in order to do this, I say movement tech as Kippy takes another death and has to go all the way through the castle again. And this is exactly what I was talking about with these. And Chanigan getting whacked by the sword. If you don't have, it's really hard to dodge that if you don't have time stop. But right there, saving before the twins, which is something that a lot of people outside of Nightmare wouldn't do, paying off here, as Hate takes a death, and he's going to have to restart the castle as well.
So knowing that it's Emperor, and knowing that you'd really strongly prefer to have the wheel here, would you leave this boss for later, or is this just a case of, I have only so many checks to do when this is here and I might as well do it?
I would certainly consider it. So a lot of the boss rando is new, so the optimal tech really hasn't hit yet. But if you go by the same logic as some seeds where you have early Maw, as Chanigan takes another death, I would not be surprised to see him bail here. But you can say, hey, you know what? It'll be a lot faster for me to just portal out of the Maw caves, come back and beat the Maw later when I'm just super buff and I'm going to kill it in like 5 hits. So Chanigan, opting to keep bashing his face against this, he probably could get it if he gets lucky with the sword. He can probably dodge. He can tank one of the swords. I think they're kind of low on healing right now because they haven't had access to a shop. But they do have access to a shop because they have that Celestial Sash. So that's another option. Being able to get to that shop and buy healing items is nothing to ignore there. Chanigan just being very careful as the rest of the group starts to catch up with him. And there's that one tank for the sword that he can get. That Empire Orb from Emperor Nuvius taking Chanigan down again. So, yeah, I wonder if he's going to keep trying it. Nope, he is saying, I've had enough of this, I'm leaving. We're going to see how many of these other
we're out.
Yeah, how many of these other runners kind of have the same deal. It looks like Admiral Tryhard got some extra gear at some point because he's doing a bit more damage than Chanigan was. So that's going to be very helpful. And Hate going into the Empire fight, seeing how he fares, taking advantage of orb swapping to overcome the poor downtime of the Radiant Orb. Chanigan checking our pink room, getting an Ice Orb minus, which is no help. It looks like Hate just took a death there. Tryhard putting up a decent fight. He must have also... Oh! I think he also grabbed a couple other healing items that other runners didn't because he went through that cave.
I saw you had a couple potions, and there was some other healing item that I missed.
And there it is. Ooh. Admiral Tryhard getting a significant advantage here by being the first to knock down that Emperor Nuvius fight, because this is not going to be easy. Hate going in on his second attempt here. So we'll see what's going on with how Hate responds. If he wins this fight this time, then that'll be huge. Or if he loses, we'll see if he does. And oh my goodness! And just like that, I don't know if that counts as a commentator's curse. But the Timespinner wheel, something that is going to make that Emperor fight so much easier. Kippy, okay, so we got Kippy's screen back a little bit. Needs a little bit of cropping, but we'll get that back soon. Kippy having a decent time looking like it fighting Emperor Nuvius.
I believe
Hate
that
is
a
down.
copy of Hate Screen.
Oh, that's just a copy. You're right. That is a copy of Hate Screen. Well, Hate did take another death there. We will not be seeing any struggle juggling since we have the sash. Which is, a bummer for us, but good for the runners, as Admiral gets his wheel. Hate going in for attempt number 3 on the Emperor.
I saw trying with the Plasma Orb and getting basically no mileage out of it. Still trying with it a little bit, but nope, Radiant Orb's where it's at.
Yeah, Radiant Orb's what you got to do. And there's another death. We'll see if Hate goes ahead and skips out. There's the Succubus Hairpin. Not logically important here, but it is the double jump. It does make some of the movement a little bit easier. The one thing about the Celestial Sash is it completely truncates all of your horizontal movement. And being able to have that little extra bit of movement is very helpful with the Succubus Hairpin. So Chanigan's going to be running into the Ilana fight here as Admiral goes and decides that he wants to do some shopping. Selling the Empire Crown in the shop. Best crown in the game, especially when you consider the defense boost really not mattering all that much. We have Genza at the Ilana check. Not a super easy fight, but he does have the wheel here, which will allow him to do a lot more evasion. But he does take a death there, so that's unfortunate. Switching over to the Wind Orb for a little bit there because Genza is weak to Sharp and not weak to Radiant. If you can mash fast enough, You might be able to outpace Radiant Plus, but as it looks right now, it looks like 105 per 3 Radiant Orbs, which is pretty good.
Ooh, and security keycard C at the top of the big struggle juggle up there.
Yeah, wondering if Chanigan is going to go right side. I mean, this is a friendly race. There's really nothing on the line here, but, you know, there is pride. And you got to think, when you've taken a couple of deaths, are you going to start taking individual risks? Because Chanigan dispatches Genza the second try.
Mm-hmm.
And it's progressive key cards. I forgot.
Oh, right.
It's progressive key cards, so the first key card you find is always going to be the D key card. So that D key card that was gotten by the other runners could be, by the time Chanigan gets around to getting it, the B key card. And then that basically puts everybody on an even playing field. Admiral, obviously, having much better luck with the Emperor Nuvius boss, has a 1 boss lead on everybody else right now. I wasn't able to see if Kippy had defeated Emperor Nuvius while we were having some technical difficulties.
I don't think there's any obvious way to tell. It's going to be one of those things of, do we see him pull Emperor before making it through the hangar?
Yeah, Waffle Soup had a really good point. This is a glitch run, and as such, that Succubus hairpin enables you to clip through doors. So keycards really don't matter anymore. All that talk about keycards and they just don't matter anymore. So,
and can you do that with both Sash and hairpin, or do you need specifically the hairpin to do it?
specifically the hairpin, I think I'm not an expert on the glitches because I'm not a dirty cheater. But I believe you can do it with the sash, but it's a lot harder. Hairpin is a lot more consistent. All right, so everyone's going to be equal footing on the cards after the Alana fight. We don't have twin pyramid keys yet, so our runners are going to have to manually backtrack out of the towers. And something you're really going to notice here is Admiral Tryhard using this risky dash strategy, really allowing him to just speed through a lot of this stuff. Defeated Genza at Alana significantly after Chanigan did, but has basically already caught up to Chanigan on foot. So it's going to be a huge advantage for him the deeper into the seed the Teleria attachment or the dash is. You can also clip with Light Wall. The Light Wall also opens up a couple of other clips that you can't do with the hairpin because they're not through doors. As Kippy comes in and starts fighting Genza. And Chanigan's back for revenge on the Emperor. So here we go. He does have time stop. It's going to make this fight a lot easier as Kippy does a good job against Genza. This is, I guess, where we're going to see if Kippy has already defeated Emperor Nuvius or if he's going to have to go back and check that. Hate looks like he's also going back to do the Emperor fight. You can see Chanigan has yet to even take damage. That's like the difference maker of the Timespinner wheel against the Emperor. Is he just has zero problems with it this time. So you have pretty close race here between Admiral and Chanigan. Hate and Kippy does have those 3 key cards, and it really all depends on whether Kippy has already defeated Emperor Nuvius, because if so, Kippy is right in there as well. Hate making a quick switch. Oh, go for it.
They mind if I jump in real quick? We got another donation from Shadowwalker227 from the previous race, donating $69. Said, since Fizzle won our time spinner race, here's $1 for every minute of his finish time. Nice.
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 Thank you, Shadow. I'll leave y'all back to comms.
Thank you, Shadow, for that. Very, very well done. Hate did take a death while we were getting that nice donation, and I was going to say he was switching to Plasma Orb for a second there. Emperor Nuvius is actually weak to Plasma, but even so, it's just the best to just use your Plus Orbs. Hate also kind of running low on sand there for a second, but finally gets rid of Emperor Nuvius, so congrats there. Have a max health up.
So, one question about routing that I have at this point. Admiral Tryhard has the water mask, but he's clearing out the top of Caves of Banishment first. Would you do the top, or would you come back later, and what do you think he's looking for while he's up here?
I would say gas mask. I would say he's looking for gas mask. You really don't know what boss you're going to fight at the Maw, and if it's bad, then the Stinky Maw flag can really make it a struggle. Because if it's a boss, then there's their final keycard. So much for glitching through doors. They can glitch through the V keycard door still, so that is still online. But yeah, I would be looking for the gas mask here. You don't really know. You don't really know what boss you're going to find. You don't have the twin pyramid keys, so leaving the Maw Caves, if you don't have that gas mask, is going to take a very long time and be very frustrating. So before you go down there, you want to make sure you can actually finish it, or you can leave. So he could also either get the gas mask or the twin pyramid keys here, and that's kind of what he's looking for. Right now, I would not suggest going, especially with Boss Rando, I would not suggest going into the Maw Caves until you can actually complete it or leave.
So it looks like Kippy is headed out of the castle, so I think it's safe to assume that Kippy managed to get through the Emperor fight earlier.
All right, well, the race is on then. There's Light Wall Plus in the waterfall checks. That is your other thing that you need in order to do what we call Maw Skip. So you can actually skip the entirety of the Maw Caves if you know how to do it. There's also a way to do it with Time Stop, but it's just two ways of achieving the same thing. Admiral Tryhard here in the past, I kind of wonder if he's setting up for Maw Skip, if he knows how to do it. We're going to see here, if he walks back into this room after going through it, we'll see if he's going to attempt Maw Skip here. Yep, looks like he's gonna. So you're going to bait this Wyvern over here. You can see Admiral baiting that Wyvern over here, and you're going to have him jump, and he's going to land on you, and you're going to unfreeze time, and you're going to use that Wyvern's hitbox to push you through the ground and into the elevator shaft, thereby skipping the entirety of Maw Cave. And he spits, so I think if you see a spit, it does nullify the attempt, and you need to go back and get him to try again. So meanwhile, while he's trying Maw Skip, really it's a huge time save as long as it doesn't take you as long as it would take you to do the Maw Caves to do the Maw Skip.
That math checks out.
Yeah, and also Waffle Soup calls out that this is on Nightmare mode, so this Wyvern is doing a lot more damage than you want him to. He gets it, though. So there we go. Admiral Tryhard has skipped the entire Maw Caves. Now, Stinky Maw is still on, so this still could be a problem. But yeah. We'll see what boss is here. Yeah, this is going to be Prince Nuvius. It's he does take a lot of time flying around in an unhittable state, so we're going to see, I know Admiral Tryhard bought biscuits. So once he runs out of oxygen here, you're going to see he's going to start losing HP in chunks that are proportionate to his max HP. So he gets the level up. He's still out of oxygen. Is Nuvius going to die quickly? No. Oh, he has a high potion. He's fine. So really the relevant part here is now there is a bunch of stuff in the present that Admiral Tryhard might be forced to get out of logic, and considering he does not have the Teleria attachment, it's going to be very difficult to get those without suffocating. Oh, Bombardment Plus at the bottom of the Maw Tower there, so that is really good. Admiral will probably take a couple ticks of damage. Oh, just barely makes it into the maw caves. Looks like he's going to be doing it backwards, which is a totally reasonable thing to do. If you skipped the maw caves, looks like he just wants to do a bit of a glitch exposition because, I mean, if you're going to do the maw caves, why do the skip?
Do you think it might just be backtracking to the cave with the 4 boxes above the waterfall thingy? Since
Well, he's going to have to get out of the caves from there anyway. They don't have twin pyramid keys, so by the time you get there, you might as well just finish backtracking all the way through it. Looks like Chanigan is going to be following Kippy in doing a little bit more of a conventional route, doing the Lake Serene checks, and probably we're hoping to find that gas mask or the twin pyramid keys. Right now, Chanigan and Kippy are like right next to each other, so that's pretty cool. Oh, we get a tablet. That opens up another glitch exposition potential if they can make it to the present without finding the V key card. So Chanigan and Kippy just went through that pink bird room, which opens up the Cantorin fight. If you backtrack into that room, there's going to be a boss fight. There's the twin pyramid keys in early maw caves. So Admiral Tryhard getting the pyramid keys. He's going to be pretty stoked about that, I'm assuming. And now that he has those pyramid keys, you can't save there, Admiral Tryhard. You knew that. He'll probably he'll probably still finish the backtrack because it's probably still faster to just finish the backtrack, but he will be able to zoom around the map a lot sooner than all of the opponents that he has here. Looks like, yeah, Kippy and Chanigan are fighting Voltarillis at the Cantorin spot, I believe. So that was that boss fight. They're basically right in sync, so that's awesome. And they get the Sprite Familiar out of it.
Oh, is there a particular familiar that you are happy to see?
In these checks, the Kobo Familiar and the Merchant Crow Familiar open up 2 more boss spots. So I'm typically happy to see those unless it's Kobo and it's incredibly early and I have nothing else to do, which means that a pretty high stat, high HP boss fight is going to be required. We do see a bit of a variance here. It looks like Chanigan went right underwater while Kippy decided to go the top route and burn some vines. Oh, but then, yeah, it turns around and is probably going to go underwater right now. Looks like our present warp is the sealed caves. So he does have the A key card, so you know what to do, Admiral. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. In terms of actual usage, I don't really use a lot of the familiars, but if I have to pick one, Merchant Crow is my favorite. The coin drop that he does is radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Admiral, I guess, says, you know what? I literally just did the maw caves, and this is basically the same dungeon. I might as well just do it while I'm here.
And at the I don't know the name of that check, but it's one of the underwater checks, got the final key card B.
Yep, there it is. So rip the glitches. Go on home, everybody. We've seen all the glitches we're going to see today. Yeah, I mean, this is the more conventional way into the maw caves that Chanigan is doing. JK, he's going to back out because he doesn't have twin pyramid. Nope. Well, there we go. Chanigan is going into the maw caves. Admiral did find our first time spinner here in Zarian Caves, so required Zarian Caves hype. I wonder if Hate knows Moss Skip as well? Because he's down here. He might just be doing the water mask checks.
So, outside of Teleria attachment, what's the one item you'd really want to find right now?
Well, Admiral has Bombardment Plus, so we know where that is. Teleria attachment is kind of really the only thing missing besides the actual, literally required Go mode items in the 3 gears. We have Wheel. Wheel is incredibly good in Nightmare mode. It looks like we have Azure Queen fight from Chanigan over here, and Kippy will be doing the same thing. And it is Ilana. And quick work of that. Low HP spot. It occurs to me that Chanigan does not have fire, and so cannot burn the vines. All right, so let's see if Hate does indeed know Moss Skip. Oh, you're right, Waffle Soup. They could skip shutting off the power in the lab, but that is more difficult because that door deals damage to you. Okay, so Hate does know Moss Skip, so here we go. Oh, he's doing the light wall version. He clips out of bounds, but not in the correct way. So you're going to see him. He's going to try and place a light wall and then get under the light wall and use that light wall's hitbox to force himself through the floor, much in the same way that Wyvern did with Admiral Tryhard. Admiral looks like he's going to go back up into this area and buy some... Well, he's going to sell the shiny rock for a bunch of money. And I'm assuming buy a whole bunch of warp shards, yeah. And biscuits while he's here, because why not? Yeah, the light wall version of the Moss Skip is quite tricky, but there's also the bonus that it's not a Wyvern dealing 64 plus damage to you every time you attempt it. Here we go. Admiral Tryhard is going through the oxygen-starved areas of the present to try and look for a gas mask, I'm assuming. He does have healing. That's why he went and bought those biscuits, so... he has warp shards as well, and he's going to be able to warp back to an oxygenated room if he's about to suffocate. So that is in his favor, but just getting to the checks themselves is going to be kind of difficult. Hate did actually, I missed it, I guess. Hate did succeed at Moss Skip, so congrats to that. As Chanigan and Kippy are going through a more conventional way. They will be getting their pyramid keys. Hate making the correct call and going back and backtracking. You wouldn't want to go an entire seed without your pyramid keys. Yep, he's got those biscuits, and he's got a potion and some berry pick-me-ups. Admiral Tryhard is going to be draining his entire stock of healing items. And it's just not, it's not going to be easy going. This is the risk on Stinky Maw of beating the Maw check without having the gas mask. Because at this point, you have to kind of treat the gas mask as a skip, which everyone else will be treating it just like as an in-logic check. But, you do early A card, and you do early Zarian Caves, and you do, Moss Skip. Sometimes you just want to swag out. What he is doing is eliminating a lot of checks that he knows are nothing. And instead of doing a warp shard back, he opts to save and quit, or not save. The whole point is he's not saving. So all those healing items he used in search of progression, he actually doesn't. He gets those back. Since he didn't get anything of value, it's actually better to save and quit out than it is to use a warp shard, because you get those healing items back.
So on average, how many healing items does it take to make this kind of play work? Because I know you can just load up on 9 biscuits, but is 9 biscuits really enough to do something like this?
No, not without Teleria attachment anyway. If you had Teleria attachment, you have Sash, you could zoom through some of this stuff. But even with that, it's very difficult to get to some of these places. By the way, the high-fiving almost that's going on between Shanigan and Kippy, and to a lesser extent Hate, is just absolutely incredible. They're essentially lockstep.
Party time in Caves of Banishment. Let's go.
Yeah. So Tryhard did make it to that save point, which is what you want to do. So that's his new starting point. He can actually, since they haven't found fire yet, one of the glitches you can do is you can actually use the succubus hairpin to jump through the vines. Oh, looks like the boots fight is just the maw. That's going to be a quick fight.
That was fast.
Yeah. Admiral Tryhard saying, wait, isn't there an item there that I got from the boots that I should probably go pick up? And it's Netherward minus, so it's not a big deal. But it could have been really good. Like a gas mask or something. Just makes it into the Varnagray Metropolis. Everything to the right of that portal is oxygenated, so you don't need to worry about running out of oxygen there. Yeah, he's ducking back into Sealed Cave just for the quick save. He's very powerful, but everything's doing an extra 64 damage. Shanigan skipping the maw fight. Looks like, yeah, the bombardment. They're both going to have the bombardment. Kippy going and snagging that. Looks like neither of them have an appetite for doing everything that we've been watching Admiral Tryhard do. So they're going to skip the fight and go do something else. Hate finishing his backtrack through the maw caves right now. So he's out. And Admiral Tryhard entering the library. Are we going to get up? Shanigan's going right into the Zarian caves just like Admiral Tryhard did. He is going to get a gear here, so that'll be good for him. So far, the library doesn't seem to have much, and here we go. Admiral Tryhard going to just, yeah, I don't need the V card. And there's a gear there, so a good skip from him. So he's not going to need that V key card. And if he gets the third gear before he gets that V key card, that's a significant chunk of time not having to check wherever the V key card is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really got to be begging for Teleria attachment at this point. Everyone involved in this race has to be.
While it's quiet, I'm going to jump in again because we got another donation.
All right.
$25 from Dangwoo. 25 closer to that 4K. Thank you, staff, runners, and viewers for this amazing weekend. Thank you, Dangwoo. Appreciate it. Like you said, that puts us $75, if I'm correct, away from 4K, which is kind of amazing. Our goal, we surpassed early on day one and literally blew by it,
Danny,
which is amazing.
I'd suggest checking again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, all right. Well, I take back everything I just said because holy expletives, I can't say on stream we just hit 4K.
That's awesome. Congratulations, everybody. That is an awesome milestone.
Saracen with the $100 donation. Milestone donation or dad joke. Almost those. So, there you go. Thank you. I'm a little lost for words to everyone who's donated this weekend, participated, volunteered, because, well, frankly, we couldn't have done any of this if y'all hadn't. It's freaking amazing. So thank you. Okay, I'm gonna shut up for it's words hard right now and let y'all commentate on a run.
Randomizer players are the best. Let's just say that. Right, so after that, it's just all good vibes from here on out, I think. I'm feeling pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and there's Hate with the route skip that you were talking about.
Yeah, went ahead. He doesn't need fire to get past this, and he also doesn't have to worry about suffocating because he hasn't killed the Maw area yet. As Admiral Tryhard goes into the Gyre, this is in logic because he does have the wheel. Basically, this is a sort of the roguelike area of the game. We have opened this up to the randomizer. And Admiral Tryhard looks like he's going to be skipping fighting all of the enemies if he doesn't have to. There is a timer on those doors that will open, but it'll also open if you've killed all of the enemies. But there's some enemies that you just don't want to deal with. So you can just go ahead and jump through those doors. You're also going to run into enemies that you won't see anywhere else in the game, like this shirtless dude that throws books at you. And he does a lot of damage, and in nightmare mode that can be really, really, really scary. Shanigan going into the Zarian fight, and it's boots.
I've started dabbling with the Temporal Gyre recently, and that spooky shadow thing that you have to stop time to fight.
Yep.
I don't have a good track record against that thing. It's too spoopy for me.
Yeah, it's not a fun enemy to fight. Unfortunately, the boots Zarian fight didn't. I don't think it paid off with anything. I was not looking because the fight just went very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I don't see anything new lit up on the tracker that's worth.
Yeah, I don't see anything either. So yeah, that is the Gyre. Admiral Tryhard finds another one of those spooky time stop enemies and decides that rather than kill it, he's just going to get out of the room. Again, there is a way you can just wait, and then the door will just open by itself after a certain amount of time. You need to be careful. Okay. He has plenty of healing items. The present Merchant Crow appeared to be selling sauteed wyvern tails, which is one of the better healing items that you can get.
And I just saw a Gin Inferno for Admiral Tryhard. I did not catch if it was plus or minus.
It was vanilla Gin Inferno. Also worth noting, that is the first fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, in logic, the first time that they were able to burn those vines. Silence Ring is good to see early in a Nightmare Seed. Looks like he's going to put it on anyway. What that does is it stops you from taking knockback when you get hit. And it also reduces the amount of damage that you take from getting hit. So pretty big in Nightmare mode. A lot of the iframes and the knockback is what is going to do a lot more damage than just any one given hit. As Chanigan backtracks to pick up that Nether Minus. We have the V-Key card room from Kippy as he goes through the library alongside Hate. Chanigan's going to be making his way to the library as well, as he's a little bit behind on that because he did do the Zarian fight. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and fight the Maw the Maw boss now. Admiral Tryhard heading into the lab. He does have the tablet, which opens up a whole bunch of checks inside the lab. We'll see if the lab is money and has his final piece of the time spinner here. this room that Kippy is in right now, if the runners have Kobo, that opens up a boss fight there. Internally hoping that one of these boss fights is actually required. Unfortunately, chances are looking a little bit dire right now with how close we are to knowledge of all of our go mode. All right, Chanigan has defeated the Maw boss. Don't button mash through this dialogue. You gotta wait for the sand. Okay, good. If you button mash through that dialogue too quickly, the sand doesn't heal you, and then you can die from oxygen deprivation. It's really embarrassing.
Oh, man.
Okay, so the hunt is on for that last gear. The other runners that aren't Admiral Tryhard only have 3 of the pieces, so they're going to get it. They're going to get that 4th piece. That's just, it's not a matter of if, but when, because it's in, if I remember correctly, a very obvious check. So really it's just a look out for that, that final piece of the time spinner, the 3rd gear. Admiral taking a route through Spider Hell. He has Radiant Plus, so it's really kind of a formality. No gear there.
At least there's little effort being spent killing the spiders, so it's not quite a super feels bad moment when there's nothing at the end.
Yeah, and they do give a lot of experience points, so you know, it's kind of worth doing. Any more damage that you can pile on in a Nightmare Seed is good. All of our runners right now are basically to the point where, outside of boss fights, the extra nightmare damage is kind of, we're past the point where it's relevant. An extra 64 at this point with the attacks and the movement that they have. The extra 64 is kind of a moot point because they're just not going to be taking much damage outside of boss fights.
So, Tryhard just picked up Kobo. At what point do you get the sinking sensation that the game wants you to backtrack suddenly?
I mean, honestly, Admiral's done everything that isn't between those 2 of burned vines and behind the burned vines that are in the present starting area. So, considering he still doesn't have gas mask, there are 2 options he can do. One is go burn vines, or glitch through them. Okay, so we have the Varney fight, Varn de Groth, at Genza, but with Bombardment Plus, it takes very little time to kill it.
I gotta say, I'm kind of starting to come around on Bombardment as a thing.
Yeah, it is if you can hit with all of the ticks, it is the highest damage per second in the game. And then you add on the fact that they have it as a plus orb, and it just goes off the rails. All right. Looks like Kippy is in possession of the gas mask. I don't know where that was. Did somebody catch where the gas mask was?
I did not see it either.
I think it was in Varnagroth's tower.
Did Kippy make it over there?
Yeah, Kippy was in the tower. And so all of this stuff is now in logic. All of those gas mask spots where Admiral was having to heal through oxygen deprivation are now in logic for Kippy. We did see Hate get most of those checks, and they didn't really have anything spicy. Oh! Kippy dying to the boss fight there anyway. Fortunately, there is a save point. Gotta watch out for those whirling blades. Looks like Chanigan is on his way to the tower. He might be getting the gas mask here. And considering he has already killed the mob boss, this is very relevant to his interests. There are going to be 2 more checks that Hate did not get because they only show up after you've defeated the mob. And those are between the burned vines. So that is... Oh, the gas mask was in the CE. Yeah, we just saw Chanigan get it.
Oh, okay.
Gas mask was in the C key card locked treasure chest. Okay, Kippy looks like Kippy is going through and is going to start burning some vines, or just going to stop right at that one for this quick check here, or just burn the vines and then immediately leave. This is Raven Lord, which is probably the hardest boss in the game. And this is the Emperor Nuvius spot, which is an endgame boss. So this is not great. It's not super great. Bombardment is going to be doing a lot of work here. And they can feel lucky as you go ahead and just see all that shotgun blast doing a whole bunch of work there. They're very lucky to have the Celestial Sash, because without the Celestial Sash, that is a very, very difficult fight. Oh! Chanigan stayed in the tower after getting that gas mask and just got Gear 3 in the tower. So he's in go mode. And does not look like Admiral Tryhard is doing the same. So Chanigan does still have to make his way through the military hangar and the lab, but right now Chanigan is in a significant lead all at once. It was just very quickly like that. Also of note, that means that the gas mask was super not relevant.
Yeah, it looks like after the quote-unquote dad kill, Tryhard's just going to go back and just check all the stuff that he spent time skipping, going, oh, oops, obviously it was the thing I skipped when technically it was, but he never really went to tower, so...
I mean, this is kind of where I have to say, if you're going to moss skip, go all in on the moss skip. Just assume that everything you skipped has nothing. But I don't glitch, so I don't know. Chanigan does have the advantage here of being able to just skip all of these checks that other players are going to get. So he's going to spend a lot less time full clearing areas because he knows that he doesn't need any of it. Meanwhile, Kippy and Hate still don't even have their second gear. So this is going to be... Kippy's not going to get the second gear anywhere over here, but Kippy will be getting the warps here. So when Kippy does get those gears, he'll be able to just warp right to where he needs to go. The downside is, if he stays on this course, he will be full clearing the lab, which takes a lot longer than just zooming to where you need to be. Meanwhile, Hate going to Varnagray Library, so this could be Hate's Varney's tower check. So Admiral Tryhard hasn't fought the Cantoran spot yet, so this will be probably very quick. Using the bombardment time stop strats to hit with bombardment, and then stop time to charge up the bombardment, then unstop time. Oh, speaking of, Waffle Soup called it earlier. This is what Chanigan is doing, trying to hop through this laser gate without having to turn off the power of the lab. And then deciding, never mind. Oh no, he's just going to go save to refill his health.
Gotta refill health, yep.
So just to be clear, what this is if you are crouching and you try to backdash and attack on the same frame, what it does is it sets Lunaeus's... and he nails the skip. That's huge. But what that does is it sets Luneus's neutral hitbox as if she is still crouching. So when you jump up and you do the double jump and you would hit your head on the ceiling, instead you have an entire half of Luneus's body to go into the ceiling because the hitbox doesn't start until the crouch hitbox does. And you can use that to clip through walls and jump over doors like you just saw Chanigan do, and you saw Admiral do earlier with the V keycard door. And you saw Hate do with the burn vibes. It does look like Hate is going to get this tower gear, which is going to be very interesting because I don't quite remember where the other gear is. Seriously? Oh, he's light wall clipping into the elevator. This is dangerous. You can soft lock yourself by doing that. If you clip through the wrong way, you can end up in a place where you can no longer get out of that elevator shaft. Chanigan dying to Varney. Oh no, not dying to Varney.
Chanigan made it through.
Yeah, Chanigan made it through. I just saw him. So he's fighting Cantorin. He is exiting out of that. The other, I can't see the text. The other option is the twins, which is going to be a much easier fight for him. This side has more HP. However, it is weak to his Radiant Plus and his Bombardment Plus, whereas Cantorin is not weak to either of those things. Yeah, Chanigan's already at the halfway desperation point for the Golden Idol. Kate ducked out of the tower without getting that gear.
Oh.
I mean, I don't blame him. I hate the tower too, dude. Like, no, I get it. I absolutely get it. I hate the tower too. Chanigan has broken time and is entering the end game. We haven't seen Sandman or Nightmare yet in any of the boss spots, so we could get a vanilla end game here. There are still a couple of bosses we haven't seen. The Azure Queen, we haven't seen Zarian, and what else haven't we seen?
So are all three phases of the final boss considered individual bosses that get shuffled around, or
just the two phases? You have the Sandman phase, which includes the Hourglass, and then you have the Nightmare.
Okay.
So a lot of the strategy, the movement strategy. Oh, and Admiral Tryhard going and finding what's at the Ifrit spot here in the library, since he did, as you called it, pick up that Kobo. It's vanilla Ifrit. So this will be pretty quick because there's a spot you can sit right below Ifrit there where he can't hit you, and so you just wail on him with whatever you want, and then he'll die real quick. What I was saying is a lot of the strats for this is Hate finds Sandman, so Sandman's not going to be a final boss. And there's that. The Varney check was Ifrit, so we are looking like Zarian is still in play here, and Azure Queen and Nightmare are all still in play for our final boss gauntlet here. Hate back in the tower, and yeah, he's gonna clip into that elevator. Be very careful. This is the same kind of deal as he clips right in there. Good job. It's the same kind of deal where you use the Light Wall's hitbox in order to push you through a wall. And he gets the Merchant Crow there. That's going to be a dead end. That Merchant Crow opens up the Geyer boss check. He gets Zarian at Sandman, Chanigan does. We are going to be really close to exclamation points over on Chanigan's side, assuming he doesn't take any deaths here. But again, we're running into a glut of bosses that are weak to Chanigan's best attacks. So this is going really, really well. As Kippy going into Daddy's tower, we do know it has nothing. Admiral Tryhard getting his gas mask and hopefully not following up that dead end. And we do have a vanilla Nightmare. He's going to be using, he's going to be using bombardment strats, booping the snoot with a shotgun blast. And that's it. Exclamation points in chat for Chanigan. He is our first finisher.
Finishing in
Absolutely
first
wild
place
boss rando seed.
with an official time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 22 seconds.
Very well done, Chanigan. As we see Admiral Tryhard in the right place. Is he going to? He's not. Oh, he's back. No, he's gonna glitch into the. What is he doing? Just go through the C card and get your last gear, dude. Yeah, so yeah, congratulations to Chanigan. We are going to see our other runners finishing up this seed in short order once they realize that they are... Yep, and there's your Gear 3, Admiral. So he's going to go ahead and warp into the lab, and he's going to go do that same boss gauntlet that Chanigan just did. Hate looks like he warped to the tower, so he's in the right place. Admiral's going to go ahead, and he'll probably pull out the Bombardment Plus against the Idol. Yeah, he's charging up for it, and that's it. See you later. That's how strong Bombardment Plus is against something that is weak to it. So time is broken. We are going to see Admiral go into the Ancient Pyramid while Kippy is climbing to the dad fight, which we unfortunately know is nothing. And Hate, again, in the right place. He's got to check it eventually. All right, so we have Kippy making a quick, taking some damage there. I guess, preemptive commentator's curse. I was saying Kippy is doing a really good job against this nightmare fight. Was like one hit away, but there you go. So dad fight is done, and you get a blue orb. They're gonna warp shard out, and there you go. Hate, you getting your gear 2. That gear 3. Oh man, I just don't remember where the third gear is.
Wait, wasn't it in this elevator tower over here?
The progressive gear was in this tower.
Oh.
So yeah, in non-AP seeds, you get the gears in the order.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Oh, it's in Zarian Caves. That's where it is. I forgot. So Hate's going to be going down there, getting his third gear in the Zarian Caves. Looks like Kippy is already there, so it's going to be a neck-and-neck race between those two to see who can find that last gear and then warp into the lab, because they both have that lab. They both have that lab teleport, so it's going to be kind of a neck-and-neck race between those. As Admiral Tryhard goes down this last staircase to get to the final boss. Kippy is slightly ahead of Hate in the Zarian Caves. Almost taking a very unfortunate death there, though. Both of them running really low on HP after these really hard-hitting, really hard-hitting enemies down here in this endgame area. As Admiral goes into that Vanilla Nightmare spot and decides to go Radiant Orb swapping. Another very effective strategy against Nightmare. And there it is. Exclamation points in chat for Admiral.
Finishing in second place, official time 1 hour 6 minutes 2 seconds.
Yeah, good job, Admiral. Hate just got his third gear. Kippy has the second gear, but does not have that information on where that third gear is. I just realized that Kippy wasn't going for gear 3. He was going for gear 2. Has not gone back to the tower to get that final gear. Again, I get it. I hate the tower too. Man, unfortunate with this early Celestial Sash, we're getting our runners skipping the concussion count, unfortunately. Hate playing a little bit dangerous here. He's out. Hey, Hate, you're out of sand. Oh, that was very, and that's a bummer. Ouch. He is all the way back in the save point before the Varney fight. He hasn't saved
Oh no.
in a very long time.
Oh boy.
I said it at the top of the run. You got to get into the habit of saving a little more often when you're in Nightmare. Fortunately, he does know where the gears that he's missing are, so he can just go get them. Unfortunately, he is missing. What are you trying to do here?
The
elevator's not there. That is a very unfortunate death. I wonder, is he like out of healing? Or did he run out of healing? Or what?
I'm gonna jump in real quick because it sounds quiet. We got another donation from Courant, $10. I was hoping to set up with the rest, and I don't think anybody got to it, so we'll read it off real quick. Woo! 4K hype. Let's start pushing for 4,500. My final donation for the marathon, and it's been an honor to be both a runner and a host. Y'all are fantastic, and I can't wait to do this again. Thank you, Courant. Also, just a quick reminder, after this run, the next run, the Metroid Fusion Open Randomizer still has an incentive that is open for Kill or Save the Animals. Save the Animals is ahead, I think, by about $25, but there's plenty of time to change that if you wish to drop donations on that, and I'm going to let y'all get back to your race real quick.
All right. So before we have a couple of the runners here with us, I believe, at least one. And before we get to that, I do want to call out that the Teleria attachment was in the post-mall checks in Lake of Desolation. So in case anybody was wondering, that's where it was. Teleria attachment in mall checks at Lake Desolation. Kippy found it and is zooming to get that final gear. And yeah. So here we are. We're joined by both Shanigan and Admiral Tryhard. Congratulations and GG. That was a thrilling run to watch.
That was a quick one.
It was quick.
It was
for
quite
you.
quick, yeah.
I was like, where's gear 3? I entered
was very,
military
very quick.
hangar with 4 out of 5. I'm like, surely it's on the right side of the map, right? It's the whole side of a map.
Yeah, the lab was not money this time. In fact, it gave you a couple of dead ends.
And Emperor's Tower, for that matter.
And Emperor's Tower also had nothing. There's like large swaths of high-value areas turning up with nothing. But Shanigan, congratulations on the W. How did that feel? The entire time you were doing it, I will say, we did have knowledge of where all of the gears were at one point, and Shanigan, you did just have the luck to just go ahead and finish Varnagroth Tower, whereas other people bounced from it.
Yeah, I don't like leaving stuff hanging like that. That's why I did it while I was there. And anyway, I can just use a warp shard and just go back. So it's not too bad doing this.
Yes, congratulations again. That was really thrilling. It was to the point where Admiral Tryhard, you were doing the glitches that was awesome. Your glitch exposition there was great.
Yeah, I will say it's probably a really good showcase run.
Yeah, we actually had two maw skips. You did the Wyvern skip, and Hate did the light wall skip into the maw area. So that was really cool to see.
Where was Lightwall?
Lightwall was further down along in the water.
Water, yeah. Around T chest. If I
We are
remember.
joined here by Hate and Kippy.
Did I skip T-chest?
Welcome to Nightmare Mode, I guess. How about that first boss of Emperor Nuvius?
my
Huh?
Yeah, there was a reason that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go get some better gear after I died like the third time to him.
Yeah, that was basically the prevailing thought. Shanigan also died 3 times and just left,
Yeah.
and lo and behold, the first item that you get after you decide to bail on it is the Timespinner wheel, the item that makes that fight a whole lot easier.
Yeah, well, and honestly, there was at least one fight where I had got myself right down into the crouch glitch because I thought the sword attack was coming, and instead it was the shuriken. So I just got bodied by that.
Yeah,
When
no,
I
you
saw
can't,
that big
you can't duck
sword-
under those. Those are in the ground.
Yep.
I saw that big sword coming for me, and I said, I either make the risky dash or I die.
Yeah, no, Admiral Tryhard, you first tried it, I believe?
Yes, I first tried it.
Yeah, you first tried it, which was incredible. That was awesome. Being able to defeat that boss at that area with Nightmare Mode on and no wheel is no small feat. So that was very, very well done.
Yeah, I think even I got it only on my second try. Like,
Yeah, it was funny because we actually, your stream, your feed had dropped. And so we were trying to figure out if you had successfully beaten Emperor Nuvius, because if you did, it had happened while we didn't have visual. So we did find out that you did end up beating Emperor Nuvius at the Golden Idol. So congrats to that as well, because that's not an easy fight without the wheel.
oh no, I left you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, no, it was fun though. This whole race was really fun to commentate because due to the glitches, we had Hate and Admiral glitching into the maw caves, then backtracking out of it. Hate specifically backtracking out of the maw caves at the exact same time as Chanigan and Kippy were going through the more conventional way forward.
Backwards is the best way through those caves.
Yeah, Chanigan and Kippy, you were actually lockstep, step for step, alongside each other in the maw caves, and it was hilarious to watch.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
tried practicing maw skip, but I just can't do it. I need a better setup, just better visuals, and just practice.
Yeah, I was practicing it earlier. I just can't. Like, I can get it down, but it just takes so long for me to do it that it's just
Yeah,
like,
same.
I'll just might as well go the other way.
I
Yeah,
was
my
not
exact
good at
thought.
the timing for the maw clip this seed. It was not kind to me.
Oh yeah, you were doing the Wyvern version of it, which is especially heinous on Nightmare Mode, where that Wyvern is dealing an extra 64 damage to you every time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
but I will
just
say,
could not get my placement done properly. I was like, yeah.
I
Felt
will
like I
say,
was trying to bite my own elbow.
fortune favoring the bold was kind of a theme for this run, as the Zarian Caves run paid off with a Timespinner gear, and if you did it early, obviously that paid off in a big way.
What I wanted to say, Admiral, did you check before killing Maw, the Maw boss? Did you check where the teleporter was? Like where it sent you?
No, because it didn't have TPK yet.
Oh,
I went through Maw Cave backwards.
oh, backwards. So you didn't have TPK. Oh my god. Okay, so you went through the whole thing without gas mask. Oh my god.
Yeah, I went through all of Lake Serene, no Teleria, no gas mask.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I make it a point where, like, if I'm going through Maw Cave backwards, if I'm going to hell run the Maw, I'm going to know where my warp point is first, because I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Teleria, I want to award Kippy with the only player to get the Teleria attachment award.
Where was it?
Wow.
Where was
I
it?
was in the crash site.
Oh, That makes
Yeah,
sense then.
no way I was getting that. I didn't even burn the vines yet when I went through.
Yeah, same.
and went through
Yeah.
this.
I didn't burn the vines. I just, jumped over them.
I burned like the one vine on the left, but like because
I'm not
I was
risking
like
jumping over the
past,
vines when I'm suffocating.
Yeah, I think when I burned the vine in the past, it was just the one on the left. I just killed Maw. I was just like, I might as well just do this one, but I didn't bother with the other ones.
Yeah, Admiral, we were laughing at your mad scramble for oxygen in the present, but it was a well raced all around. It was a great glitch exposition. I will say that we are on a schedule, so I can't talk to you all day about this glorious seed.
I just want to ask, did anybody else find that elevator key card?
Nope.
I did not.
Nope.
It was elevator locked. It was at the medical bay.
Oh,
Wait, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
really?
Hey, Weth, I think we gotta.
No, because
No,
nothing
it
that was
was
elevator
nothing in the-
locked was
nothing-
useful.
Yeah, nothing was
Oh,
useful
okay.
behind the
Sorry.
elevator key card, so you can have the elevator locked elevator key card.
I mean,
That's right, because it's not like Archipelago. It just generates essentially like a beatable only seed.
it's
Yep.
is it like location-based logic, or say like, hey, you can beat the seed versus item logic, or like,
Yeah.
okay,
essentially.
that makes sense.
Anyway, thank you to Weth and Lord Fizzleby for jumping on and doing cons for us as well.
I'm always down to do some comms. This was a blast. Also, we broke 4,000 while you were racing.
Let's go.
Nice.
So-
Good job, everyone.
Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations, Final Fantasy 1 randomizer community. Y'all are incredible. This marathon has been great. The goal being shattered in such a frankly embarrassing way is just so awesome for a first year marathon. So I want to congratulate you all on that. But like I said, we are on a schedule. This is a marathon, and people want to watch Metroid Fusion. I think the incentive to save or kill the animals is still open. Kill is $25 behind save. So if you like frames, you might want to donate.
End of the animals.
But yes, thank you, Lord Fizzleby, for doing the commentaries with me. It was a blast. And thanks to all our runners for putting on such a good show for everybody. We do have Metroid Fusion coming up, so I hope everybody enjoys that. And with that, I guess we'll just go ahead and call it for Timespinner tonight, this nice doubleheader.